Hey, everybody, it's another TurfZoom brought to you by Aquatrols, and I'm Pat Jones, and I'm here today with the gentleman who's going to be hosting the 151st Open Championship in a few months, James Bledge. James from Royal Liverpool Golf Club. How are you?
Super, Pat. Yeah, a little bit. Light bit of snow, nothing what you've got in Cleveland, Ohio, I don't think, but a couple inches this morning. The time just now, we're 4:30 in the afternoon. So on a Friday, all the guys are all the way home, ready to enjoy the weekend, and sitting here with you and my dog, which is nice, and delighted to be on.
Very nice, very nice. You're still kind of new to the facility. What have been some of the things that you've learned already in your time about what you love about the place?
So I mean, yeah, I've been here for 13 months, and it's always quite daunting, isn't it, when you take on a new job? I'm having to learn a new team, having to learn a new area, how things were done in the past, all the kind of nuances of the place, how the drainage system works, how the irrigation system works, how the teamwork is the biggest thing of all. We've got a team of 12, which you can probably see behind me here. Actually, this is in the office. It's all quite old school, and the way I like it. You know, I would say I'm quite a modern course manager, but I quite like to have an old school twist on it, because it was the way I was brought up as well, and I know that these things work. Digressing, but I should also remember as well, your audience. I've recently had something that I've done that was subtitled, which a lot of my friends find really funny. So I'll remember to maybe try and speak a bit slower. But yeah, so that's all that I've learned. It's been a massive learning experience, and how the membership work, how my board work. My board are a bit bigger, as in my committee or council. I don't know what you would call them across there.
Yep.
Work a little bit different. But you know, I feel very much in the position now, and comfortable, if that's the right word. Everything's going really well. I work for a great club, an amazing board, and I've got a fantastic team, and we make things as easy and as fun as possible, to be honest. So it's, I feel pretty settled. Wife and kids are settled as well, which is sometimes the main thing that settles you as well.
Right. I've got two kids. You got two boys, and do they get to spend some time on the golf course with you?
Yeah, Fletcher and Jesse. Fletcher's 8 and Jesse's 5. I'm trying to get them encouraged into playing golf, but they're not really at that point yet. They're football daft and computer games and watching nonsense on YouTube. But yeah, it's every guy's dream, isn't it, to have their sons out playing golf with them. So maybe one day, but I just don't want to push them on it. But yeah, they come out to work sometimes, and they love coming in the tractors and diggers and stuff. You know, what a dream, what a place to grow up. I mean, where I'm speaking to you from now, my house is just there. You know, I live on site, and the maintenance facility is outside as well. And the ninth hole, I should say, is in the Open, because the course is played a little bit different. The configuration's different. We play 17 and 18 first, and then play the first.
Right.
So that's every hole comes on to, which is interesting.
So you're there in part because you and Sean McLean went on a little road trip and decided to go see some other courses. And Sean, of course, is now at Birkdale. But tell me kind of how that came about, because you called and found out from your predecessor that he was going to make a change and there might be an opportunity for you. Tell us that story.
Yeah, crazy story. Yeah, so every year, Sean and I would go a study tour. You know, we would go visit golf courses. I see a lot of value in visiting other people's golf courses and seeing how they do things. The year previous, we went to Norfolk in England, and this year we decided, well, let's go up to up northwest, up Merseyside. So I mean, when you look at the golf courses that are grouped in Great Britain, I mean, Fife is unreal. Well, there's loads of great areas, but Fife's probably the best, and then you have Northwest England is just ridiculous. There's so many great golf courses. So we put a list together. We said Royal Liverpool, Royal Lytham St Anne's, Royal Birkdale, and Wallasey, where my friend John is. So we contacted all the course managers at these places, and I contacted Craig Gillum, who I knew fairly well. I knew Craig. I'd had dinner with him before. He's a fantastic guy. unbelievable links greenkeeper. You know, he's got such a great pedigree, and the things he's done here have been brilliant. So I contacted Craig, and he said, "Oh, Bledge, you better get your CV ready because I'm leaving at Christmas." And I was like, "Gosh, Jesus!" And you know, I had that feeling straight away that I was ready for it. I had spent 9 years at Royal Cinque Ports, which is just knocking on the door of having a major tournament. I felt, and the club felt, and I went for this big time. You know, I went for it. We came up, and actually, because I was coming up on this trip, instead of playing it, they moved my interview forward, and I had the interview because it was made sense because it was a week earlier, just that I was in the area.
Right.
I remember having my interview in the library and seeing Sean walking up the first hole, and then I got the job, and Sean followed me up the road a little bit later, and he got the Royal Birkdale job. So it's quite a cool story. And Sean's one of my best friends. He's a brilliant greenkeeper and a top bloke. And my kids call him Uncle Sean. So that's how we have a great rapport, you know.
Just a couple of mates up the street from each other. That's pretty darn cool.
Unfortunately, it's an hour away. You know, we were saying the other day, we need to get a hovercraft because as the crow flies, it's not very far, but you've got to drive right through Liverpool. But we see each other quite a bit. He was down this week. Come down, we look at each other's courses, we have a bit of lunch, and he meets the team, and we chew the fat. And you know, it's great because even today, I'm looking for I loaned of some machines for the Open, and I just phone him up and say, "Sean, I'm looking for a couple of John Deere 7500s. Can you loan me them?" And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. We'll have them all ground and ready." And he's working at the Open as well. So I think as greenkeepers and turf managers, I think we're brilliant at that, and it's such a special part of our industry that we do anything for each other, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and that hovercraft's a good idea. You should work on that. I think that would be an excellent addition to the maintenance program.
Maybe a John Deere Gator on hovering.
We'll work on that for you. That's a great idea. So you mentioned already the volunteers, and that's something that's really different, I think, there versus here, because it's become a pretty big event, you know, for the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship to have 150 volunteers. What are your plans in that area? I know that Biga and the RNA kind of work together to help on that, but then you're going to make sure you've got the right team in place for your permanent team as well. Tell me how the numbers are going to look and how that's going to work for volunteering.
So I've got a team of 12, as you can see behind us, and we've added about 33 extra to that. And it's a really brilliant team that we've made, you know, between guys I know in the industry that you'll know as well. People who, when I wanted to build a team, you want the very best. This is my first Open, so you want to pick the very, very best. You have people that you know can get on the stuff without you being there, because I mean, I'll be away with the fairies that week probably. But we've got a really good mix in though, from people starting out in the industry to people like Lee Strutt who've achieved everything, and everything in between. And the whole idea of this was to get a group of like-minded people together that can learn off each other. And the biggest thing I feel is for the team here, I want them to be subjected to these people and make friends and make contacts, because, you know, there's some of my guys that want to move on and better themselves and get better jobs, and these could be the people in the future that they apply to. So, but I think the nicest thing we did, or the best thing, was we did an apprentice competition on Twitter. You might have seen that a while back, where I wanted, without being ageist, but I did want really young guys in 17, 18, whatever, people like, I remember what it was like to be an apprentice. And we ran the competition, and it was through like a Google form. So everything went to a database on a spreadsheet. So then I could wipe off the clubs. So it was in the name. So it was completely blind. There was 60 applicants, and we picked two guys, Max and Sam, from Prestwick in Ayrshire and Abbey Hill in Milton Keynes.
Okay.
And their answers are absolutely brilliant. We were asked questions about, give me examples of sustainability at your golf club. Tell me, as an apprentice, I loved using new machines. Tell me what your favourite machine is. Our new hole is called Little Eye. It's called Little Eye. Tell us what you would call the new hole. So, and why? And we got great answers, and we picked these guys, and I think it's going to be superb because they'll be subjected to some of the top guys in the industry. Guy from Abbey Hill is quite a grassroots golf club, I feel, down South London.
That's great. You make them go around and meet everybody. The most important, I tell this to the volunteers at big events all the time. This is a chance for you to make friends for a lifetime. These are people that you will know and probably work with on and off for decades. So really get to know people. You get to check off your resume, but creating those relationships, nothing more valuable.
No, definitely. I've said this before in other podcasts, that some of the best friends that I've made in life are through the industry. GIS this year in Harrogate were like Christmas for me. I was loving walking around. We see each other at GIS, and how much fun was the Aquatrols stand. We're standing on it, having a beer, listening to some band, listening to a guy play guitar, and he's standing with Emma Beggs and Mick Vance and yourself, and there's people coming in and out, and it's just great fun.
Got to meet your wife, Jenny. Very, very nice to meet her.
Yes.
Glad to see her.
Yeah.
Glad to see her.
Loved our side, she's getting into it. She's subjected to it because we live on site. So if she's starting to ask questions about, what does that mower do? Or like she's trying to, she wouldn't be able to tell me what green that is outside. I still don't think she does.
So, one of the things that you mentioned, though, that I know has been a focus for you at the golf course is the new hole, is your new Championship 17. Tell me kind of how that's being prepared and how that's being positioned to be an important part of the championship.
Well, in previous Opens, it was a par 3 that played downhill. Right. And I don't think there was anything spectacular about it. And we really wanted to create a grand finale, like Sawgrass, for example, that's on just now, like Waste Management as well. Look at these finishing holes that are really strong and exciting as he builds it to a crescendo. But the way that they've done this, so Martin Ebert, architect, along with the vision of the RNA and also Alistair Beggs, Sure. Alistair Beggs is my agronomist and captain in 2014 when he handed Rory the jug, claret jug. So they've basically flipped the hole around, played it back out towards the sea. It's a shot, it's about 133 yards, of which they potentially, if they wanted, they could play it 100 yards. It's a bit uphill with a 330 square meter green. I don't know what that is in square feet, but it's quite small, with a scrape short. So the balls, if you put anything coming up short, runs back into a deep scrape, it looks like a bunker, but it's actually a scrape. So you have to take your lie how you find it. A bunker left and right and over the back, a deep scrape as well. So it's a tough finishing hole, but it's going to separate the men from the boys, really, I think. And I think I remember saying in my interview about it, and I kind of still stand by it. You could have Bryson DeChambeau leading, or Patrick Reed. I'll give 2 great examples, leading the Open with 2 holes to go, and then they could take 8, and then local hero Tommy Fleetwood could come along, birdie it, and then end up winning up the last, and I just think this is exactly what this hole could do. It's going to be an amazing spectacle. I'm really proud of it, even though I never built it. I feel part of it so far. It's great.
It's such a great visual, but it's just from a playability standpoint, such an interesting hole that you undersell the back of that hole because you can go into not a good place if you hit long there. So
yeah, it's gonna be great view. And who wants to sit on their armchair and watch a bog standard 17th hole? We love waiting to watch the 17th at the Old Course. We love waiting to watch the 17th at Sawgrass. The 17th at Royal Liverpool will be the exact same. It used to look a little bit out of place because it was the only area on the course that had sand, but in the last year or so, we've really drifted that along the coast. So we've got sand on 3 or 4 holes now it blends in so much better. Yep. And the visual with the spotter plane, drones or zip lines is gonna look unbelievable, and there'll be a U-shaped grandstand around the back as well. So there'll be some. That's where you need to get yourself when you get in here on the Thursday morning. You need to get yourself up there.
Sold. I'll be there. And you did something else that was kind of interesting from a agronomic and economic standpoint. You harvested a bunch of sand to use around the golf course. How did you do that? Where did that idea come from?
Well, we've at my last place, we harvested sand as well. We screened it off, and but here it's actually a lot better. We just started just as I joined. There was 3 big scrapes put right along the coast, and with thanks to the local farmer Rob Griffiths, he brought 4,000 tons down. So it filled the entire yard, which is just keep bringing it, and we'll worry about it later. We've only got half of it left. It's all been put out in bunkers. It's been put out on fairways, greens, tees. We've had about 3 or 4 major top dresses on the fairways. We've got 1 left to do. It just gets screened down to 10 mil. So we have a 20 mil deck over a 10, like this.
Right.
And yeah, so we get the odd stone that comes through, but the sand's actually really fine here. So we're just really trying to, on the greens, work on bulk density, reduce organic matter a little bit more. We're on the right track. The greens are firmed up. We've been dry ejecting them, and yeah, we can take so much more sand out of these areas, and there's other areas in the courses that we've highlighted as well that we can take more from. We understand, yeah, it's sustainable, but it is a finite resource, sand, so we've got to look at other ways, and this stuff matches ours perfectly, and because it's fine, it goes in really well. It washes in nicely. So you could put on, you're gonna have to get your conversion chart out, but you could put on 20, 30 tons a hectare, and it does swallow it up in a few weeks. But we're just taking it down now to 6.
I think it's another example where sustainability and frugality meet. It's being able to be frugal, but also to achieve a goal. And I ran into a million examples of that when I was over there last fall. Just so impressed with the creativity of your partners in crime over there.
Well, we've got some brilliant greenkeepers across here, and there's trends, and we all learn it off each other. So I mean, I'm not going to certainly sit here and say I've been the first person ever to mine sand out of a sand scrape, because it's been happening for a long time. It's something that's a wee bit new to Royal Liverpool, but there was scrapes done here before I came, on holes 13 down to the left hand side, but it's just now we're taking a lot more of that sand away.
Amazing. So when I've talked to a million folks getting ready to host majors, and there's always kind of the one thing in the back of their mind that you worry about. That's that thing. Do you have that thing? Is there a thing that you're most concerned that something comes together just as the tournament happens? What are you losing sleep about if you're losing sleep?
I think the only way I maybe lose sleep is when the kids come into my room in the middle of the night, or the dogs. But I lose sleep over the silliest little things, but things like the Open and knowing that there's going to be 250 people ascend on the course, I'm fine about it. I don't, and I hope it stays like that. I don't feel kind of nervous or anxious about it, and I'm not losing sleep over that. I'm super excited, but it's just little things like maybe something that you've forgotten to do or bugs you during the day, or oh God, I've got to remember to dig this test pit to find out where the water table is. And that'll wake you up. My subconscious is waking me up at 2 a.m. thinking of stuff like that, But I'm a total compulsive planner. So as you can probably kind of see behind us, it's not intentional. But I think these kind of things do help me, give me some rest, But I'm not, it is very stressful and stuff, but there's not, you got a good team behind you, and you're working with a good team and good guys in R&A, then it's fine. It's good. We're all good.
Well, if the club's happy, you'll be happy, I'm sure. That's what it comes down to, is how did they feel about the outcome, and how happy were they with how well the club was portrayed. And I like your momentum so far. That's really good. So what are you most excited about? What's the thing that you think, oh man, I can't wait to see X?
I can't wait to watch a bit of golf and see how the golf course performs. I can't wait till my team meet the volunteer team and we start to see the new friendships blossom. I think that'll be amazing. as I said, there's some brilliant people coming across. We actually had Joe Gallotti signed up to come across, but I don't think he can make it now, which is quite devastating. But we've, I think that, I'm super excited about seeing who the winner is. But I definitely seen the course on the telly. It'll look completely different. You're always excited. I can imagine everyone will be huddled around the telly, seeing exactly how it comes out, and praying that the media and the players are positive about it, and they enjoy it as much as we hope that they enjoy it. Because it obviously, as a club, it means a lot to Royal Liverpool. It's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Everyone's really excited about it, and for the team and all the volunteers and members and the local community, the Wirral and Merseyside's buzzing about this, and it has to go well. It really will.
Well, you'll make it go just fine. You mentioned Joe and podcasting. You and a mutual friend of ours, Sam Cooper, do a little bit of podcasting too. Tell us what a badger is. Tell us what a badger is.
Right? Okay, so I met Sam down at Royal Cinque Ports a few years ago when he was down doing some filming, and he was kind of part of the reason why I came up here as well. He persuaded me that this was the Paradise Peninsula, as he calls it. He's a great friend of mine now, and he did say at the start, he was like, "We should get a podcast started." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." And he does all the work, to be fair. We use this office that we're in just now. But Sam, if anyone's listening, if we look at links from the road on Instagram, he's brilliant. He knows his stuff inside out. He's visited a lot of golf courses, and for that reason, we call him a golf badger. Because it's just someone who's really into something. And the name Badger came from my friend Liam Brown, who's the Greens chairman at Royal St George's, and he would say, "Oh, he's really into his wine. He's a right wine badger." He would say something like that. So you could use the word badger over anything. So, Pat, what are you a badger of?
I'm a badger of English literature. That's it. That's all I got.
English literature badger.
Yeah. Well, I think all of us are badgers about the turf community in some way.
Yeah.
That it's been so good to all of us that it's hard not to be engaged in it and excited about it. I'm really happy for you to get this opportunity. When you think about this, what do you want? All of your colleagues and friends around the planet. What do you want them to think about your opportunity here and what it represents for not just for you, but for turf heads everywhere?
That's a difficult question. I think everyone they'll be all kind of tuning in, won't they? And they even my friends that don't know anything about the industry have been asking me loads of questions about it, and they're kind of super excited. I just exactly that. I just think that they'll be hanging off the edge of their chair, seeing what the course looks like, and hoping we get the plaudits really for it and the hard work. But they know how important outside of that is to my career, and they know how hard I've worked to kind of try and get to this point. So I guess they'll be kind of cheering on the whole team for that reason.
Yeah. Well, it will feel good. And I feel good about your chances of not having too many things blow up like they occasionally do here in the U.S. But I also think we're getting a little bit better about that we're getting a little more comfortable with giving the head golf course superintendent or the head greenskeeper a little more responsibility than they used to have, and not doing a lot of second guessing. And it sounds like your club's behind you very much so. For those who want to take a look, there's an excellent story about you and your background on the Royal Liverpool website. But I also encourage people to go listen to some of the Badger podcasts.
They're good. They've had some great guests on as well. They've had some belters, and they've all been Badgers. Yeah, and we've got some nice surprises coming up as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting to know Sam and working with him a little bit too. So, but one other thing is the YouTube thing for you matches very much with conversations I've been having with good superintendents around over here too. That yes, there's Twitter and there's all these things you can do, but doing a simple YouTube video and sharing it with your committee or your members seems to be pretty effective for you as well. Tell us about that.
So I've done a little bit of it here. Actually, we have got a YouTube page that I've used. For example, we did members evenings last year, and I wanted to show the members where their money was going. So I wanted them to see the machinery shed and see the technology we use, whether it's Clegg hammers, moisture meters, show them how we plan everything, because you and I both know a lot of people still have this kind of feeling that greenkeepers are just cut grass, but we all know that that's couldn't be further from the truth. And everyone that came up here on them 2 nights was absolutely blown away. They were like, wow, these machines are unbelievable. It takes no wonder you need a qualification to use that or whatever, everything's dangerous, and I mean you can completely wreck everything by getting a sprayer calibration wrong, for example. So showing them how we do all that, how we calibrate fertilizer spreaders. So then they decided to do that on YouTube for the people that couldn't come.
Yeah.
So if anyone's interested, you can type Royal Liverpool into YouTube, or Royal Liverpool Greenkeeping, I think it is actually. You'll see like the shed tour, for example. It's just done with a drone. There's a little bit of banter in there as well. But down at Royal Ports when we did it, for example, we were using a graminicide on our fairways to clean all the ryegrass out in the Yorkshire fog. Three videos showing it from the start right the way through. And I'm of this feeling that people can't be bothered if they're anything like me. I can't be bothered reading half the time, You obviously love English literature, so you like reading, but a lot of people would rather get more from listening audiobooks, listening to a podcast, or watching a video. And then by watching a video, they can see it with their own eyes. We had a lot of foreign members at Royal Ports, like we do at Royal Liverpool, and it's just like giving them bang for their buck. Right. We did a lot of videos during lockdown, so people could see the golf course. And if you're missing the golf course, what I'm going to do is put a drone up and I'll fly 118 and you'll see what it looks like. So I got really into making the YouTube videos, and we've made quite a few here. I have a little bit less time, but what I have done here is I've made a members podcast, so just for the members. It's basically, there's no frills about it. It's me. There's no fancy intro music or anything. I speak in a microphone. I tell them what's been happening over the last few months, so they know what's going on. Transparency is key. I'm not a secret. I don't keep things to myself that are like secrets at the club. So just try and let people know what's happening, so then they don't make up their own opinions or they start their own stories and the next thing, all these wrong stories are going about. Let people know the facts from the start, why we've done this, why we've done that. I mean, for example, today I was speaking to my Greens chairman. I'm quite annoyed about some of my revetted bunker faces. I've got weeds on them.
Okay.
But it's new revetted turf, and I don't want to go and start pulling the weeds off, because you start pulling the face away.
Right.
So it's a case of sitting on your hands just now, spraying it with Roundup, killing it off, and then it'll die. So then if you're pulling this weed out, quite rooty, you pull the beautiful revetting away. So just kill it off and die, and then we'll burn it. So I was saying to Matt, I was like, maybe we should put a members communication out there on the blog and say, look, these bunkers are weedy, but they're weedy for a reason. So it's things like that, so people don't understand. I hate scruffiness, and even though it's a natural rugged links course, things like that, we just, unless you have to avoid it, you should never do this, but there's a reason for it, and trying to communicate that is always key.
So anticipating those questions from members, and then doing something, whether it's whatever kind of communication that it is, to get out there and show and tell. It's always about show and tell. We started a great blog, shorehillgolf.com. So if anyone looks on that, and basically they came and drone mapped the whole course. It's a brand new thing. Sean at Birkdale's taken it over as well. They drone map the course. So then when you're writing the blog, you'll grab the mouse and you'll polygon the area that you're working on. So they can hover there, it'll go, then it turns purple. So you'll have a map with purple bits on it. And then you can, what's happening there? Or the 16th green, right? Okay, I'll hover it over there. And then the picture will come up, dry ject work happening on the 16th green. This is what we did. This is why we did it. So that was something completely new for me here that we did. So I'm really excited to start that. And we made a QR code for it, so the members can just click on it and they can see what's happening. But
I'm a big communicator, and I think that's the reason why I get very little hassle. The members are very, very respectful here. They're always they love their golf course. Jesus, they absolutely love it, and they're always kind of inquisitive about stuff like that. So I want to encourage it, to be honest. I want to answer people's questions, and I welcome that rather than them make their own stories up.
It's an extraordinarily special place. I've been a lot of places, and touring around, you just the clubhouse itself is spectacular. The golf course is really, really.
I think we probably could lay claim to having the coolest clubhouse in world golf. I don't think there's many clubhouses that have got the St Andrews Cross. They've got the Tom Morris's St Andrews Cross in there, and Tiger Woods' 2-iron, and the way that the guys in the clubhouse, guys and girls, set it out with the decor is lovely and dark and red and brown, and the boys and girls behind the bar are amazing. The service is first class. Your drink never gets below that before they're across. And then that's not even started on the food. Some of the dinners we go to, it's Royal Liverpool, it's a one-off club. That is amazing.
And I hope that shines through on television here this summer for you. What do you hope? What do you hope people take away from this chance to showcase the golf course every 10 years or so, right, on the Rota? And but what do you take away? What do you hope that people take away from this particular championship?
Well, I hope they see how special the golf course is, and understand the history. It'd be great if the television channels talked about the history and why the lower holes are flat, because of the racetrack. I mean, this is all very special stuff. The history here is it's got the biggest amateur golf history in any golf club in the world. I hope the weather's amazing, so it really shows off the beautiful fescue and blend that we've got here. And I hope it's penal that the guys get punished for hitting poor shots. But most of all, I hope that people are watching this from their armchairs as far as Japan or New Zealand and say, we need to go and play Royal Liverpool, because every time I play it, you pinch yourself, especially up these coastal holes all the way across from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then finishing on 17. Everyone's up on 17 taking a selfie. Everyone that I've brought here to play, visitors, friends, have just loved it, and they've went away raving about the place. And it's the whole package, though. It's the welcome you get from Andy and Martin when you turn up. The starters. I mean, there's a guy here called Andy that so smart, shirt and tie, welcome to Hoylake, and it's all dead genuine. They treat everyone like this, and they're like, have you said to him, can you tell us a little bit about it, come into the club? I'll tell a funny story. One day, actually, I had 3 friends down from Dumfries from the club that I was brought up on, the captain and my first greens chairman and his pal, and they're a right laugh, and they phoned me up, and I said to them, look, 9 o'clock, come up to my house and I'll show you the house. Anyway, 8:30 goes, I'm in the shower, and they phone me up saying, Bledge, where are you? I says, I'm in the shower. He says, we're at the club already. Can we get breakfast? I says, well, you really kind of should have waited on me, because I need to sign you in or whatever, or introduce you so you can go in. But I was like, let's let them go in, and have a look. Anyway, so they went in, and then I went down half an hour later, or an hour later, and they were out in the car park, and they were like, Bledge, it's brilliant. Jeremy showed us round. And so Jeremy Greenfield, the captain came out and met them and gave them a grand tour of the clubhouse, and then got them breakfast and stuff. And they were like, the minute they said, we're here a guest of James Bledge, and it was that they just, it wouldn't have mattered who they're here with, it would be treated like kings anyway, And I think that's the beauty of Royal Liverpool. You come here and pay a visitor fee, you get treated like a member for the day, and you get the full experience.
I know we did, and it was such a lovely time there. But no, it's all about hospitality. I think sometimes we talk so much turf that we forget it's all about greeting people and making them feel welcome and making them feel part of the facility. Mm-hmm. So, well, I can't thank you enough for your time. We finally got a chance to do this a little bit. Do you have one last thing you want to tell everybody about you and your experience and this opportunity for turf heads to shine a little bit at Hoylake?
Tune in come July, but until then, I'm contactable if anyone wants to have a look at any of the pictures. You know, I'm on Twitter as at James Bledge. If you scroll through there, I mean, I love keeping Twitter as a diary. I love to look through all my old pictures and see what I've been up to. And the same, if anyone wants to get in touch, and I can give you kind of directions to the blog if you want to see how special this place is. But yeah, tune in July, and hopefully with some good weather. This is the thing, we're counting on some good weather. We need. I love it when the course has been green and then it's transitioning to brown. You know, and it'd be strange for American audiences to see a brown golf course and thinking probably think it's dead, but this is for us. It's not dead. We have, well, you guys have dormant grasses as well, but when everything here is brown apart from the greens, it's quite normal actually in July, August. So what we'd want to do is probably get it like that, you know. But we're kind of at the lap of the gods. We need to have some good growing weather to grow some decent rough, and all the work we've been doing until then is so we can have control over the surfaces. So we've got ultimate organic, perfect organic matter levels, and so the greens can be dried down if we want to, and we can get some good speed and firmness. And it's just about having that control. And then hopefully we don't get a wet week. You know, that's what we're praying for. In 2006, when Tiger won, it was brown. It was absolutely brown, and as you can, they say that was one of the best opens ever. And then 2014, when Rory won, it was green, and another two world number ones. So what does that tell you about the course?
Yeah.
But someone here to say hello to you.
It's good. Oh, who we got? Hello, fella.
This is Susie.
Nice. This is the way all of these interviews should be. We should always end with the dog.
You could interview her.
Oh, look at you. All right. Well, tilt the camera back up at yourself, and thank you again for your time. I really, really appreciate it. We'll put together a little package of information for our viewers so that they can find your blog and they can find your YouTube page and your Twitter feed, because I think they'll learn a lot, and I sure learned a lot too. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
No, it was good fun, Pat. I appreciate being on. It's nice to be asked.
All right. Well, stay tuned, because we'll always have more TurfZooms coming from Aquatrols. Thanks.
Thank you.